YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Rome 2 with some online action. Now, just real quick before we get started, I have not done a scenario battle in a while, and I will. I think I'm going to try and cut those to like once a week because they take a lot of time, and I'll start trying to release those on like Saturday or Sunday. So I did screw it up this week, but I will get back on it, and we will have some fun with it. Anyway, I wanted to do something just kind of fun here. I wanted to take an underdog faction and try and give them an opportunity to take on one of the big dog factions by doing an ambush battle. So Mr. Stonewall Jackson here, which I like the name, that's cool, he was in the Blade Balance group, joined my game, and he's going to give me an ambush battle. He's going to play as the Ardiaei, and I'm going to play as Rome. If there's any particular ambushes that you all think would be fun, say it in the comments and vote for one that you think, and maybe we can do more of these ambush battles if you like it. Now keep in mind, in an ambush, the attacker is going to usually have a pretty big advantage. That's why I gave him Ardiaei versus Rome, and I kept it to Pre-Marian on my end to try and not make it too insane. So as the defender, you do get access to deployables, like flaming balls and all kinds of stuff that you can use against your opponent. And it starts off like this, which is pretty sweet. To the standards, not one step back. So here is my Pre-Marian Roman army. It starts you off in general cam when you're the attacker, or when you're the defender, whereas if you're the attacker, you get to immediately be ready to go. So you're going to see the Ardiaei starting to move up here on the hills, and they're going to be moving up and over the hill down towards my men. My cavalry take off, trying to look for cover, and as I start to crest the hill over here, I immediately run into Illyrian Marines, which are cavalry nightmare. And there's a lot of Illyrian Marines on the field, which I think is an interesting pick for the Ardiaei. They've got a lot of javelins. They can be a killer unit if they get around flanks. You're going to see me start to move my Hastati to block this flank, because all I see is Illyrian Marines. Well, I'm going to try and swing around my Principe. Now my poor Triarii, I forgot to micro them, and they're going to just form a square back here and try and hold against numerous enemies. But yeah, you can see my Velites. Also, I'm trying to keep them safe. I've got 3 of them. And my cavalry escapes with no enemy cavalry to pin them in. So my opponent was not able to pincer my cavalry in, and that's going to make things interesting. But yeah, I've got 5 Hastati, 5 Principe, and I'm facing up against some Illyrian Noble Hoplites, lots of Illyrian Marines, and probably some Illyrian Hoplites as well. I didn't get a chance to check every single unit. We will see them in the battle finish screen. So I have to fight uphill to a lot of these units, which again is going to help the Illyrians. So this was kind of like a scenario, like what if Rome was marching through the roads of Illyria and get ambushed? It was supposed to be foggy as well, but the setting didn't take. But yeah, I might do one of these to try and do some Hannibal versus Rome type battles too. Here's the overhead battle just to give you an idea. Lots of engagements. My Triarii are back here holding out, or at least trying to. They are being swamped by Illyrian troops, but this square helps them hold a long time. They have great armor, great morale, and in these squares they will hold for quite a while. My Principe are actually getting their crap kicked. You can see here that he has got most of my Principe units in extremely bad positions, whereas though my Hastati, of all things, you would think that the Triarii and the Principe would hold the line. In this battle, it's going to be the Hastati who come in, defeat their Illyrian Marine counterparts with the help of some sucky Equites. I brought some Italian allied cavalry here just to make the Pre-Marian Rome a little more fun. But yeah, the Hastati are holding strong, while my other lines are getting wrapped up pretty hard. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. He did have 1 Marine left up, or a Thurio spear left up on the hill that I was trying to be careful of. But yeah, you can see here he disengages and actually goes for my Hastati, and a nice rear charge there. This Principe is alive and well, and this one's doing okay. But these Illyrian Noble Hoplites right here are putting a beating down on my men with that uphill advantage. And then in this blob over here, my sucky Equites struck a rear charge, and the Illyrian general was trying to chase them off. And more units are pouring in against my Triarii. So I'm going to pull my cavalry away before the guys get me, and I'm sending a unit of Principe to chase the Illyrian general. But a charging Illyrian Noble Hoplite is actually a pretty tough unit. Let's check it out. Over here I've got some cavalry moving on the flanks. He's got these Peltist up here, and these 65 armor, 50 health. Not the highest morale, but you know, decent stats. And these guys are going to be a lot stronger than I had originally anticipated, and you will see that fight. But right now the fight is definitely in my favor, but there's a lot of Illyrians left on the field, and this is far from over. I'm using my Velites as a nice support unit here, so they are tossing javelins kind of slowly into the back of this unit. They don't have the best line of sight, but we're helping to pick at these axe warriors. And here comes my Soki Equites in what I thought would be a quick massacre, but I always underestimate Peltist on the Blade Balance mod. They are a lot stronger than you would think, and my guys do not get a particularly great charge here. I do catch them and going to pin them, but these Peltists are going to put up one heck of a fight. They end up fighting my cavalry for pretty much the whole rest of the battle. Now again, my Hastati end up doing the best in the melee over here. They have bested most of these Thurio Spears and Marines. And again, those are some great units for the Ardiaei. Definitely one to take a lot of use of. That's a pretty cool picture going on right there. So Rome 2 is a beautiful game. I mean, Attila does have some graphical improvements, but Rome 2 runs smoother, and it is just a beautiful game. Up here, these units are giving me some trouble. I'm losing a Principe. I have another one that's kind of on the brink over here, but his units are also taking a lot of damage from my Velites, and I bring in a rear charge from my Legatus right here. It's a heavy command unit, not a ton of attack, but the heavy mass will do some damage, especially to these lighter melee units. So that's going to hurt them, especially in morale. So it's going to end up swinging this fight in my favor. I bring more cavalry in to hit the Peltist up here. And these guys just hold out like beast. I figured maybe they had the shield wall or something. These guys are not in shield wall. They're just holding out like absolute beast, which is really cool to see the flexibility of these Peltists come into play whenever you're on a rugged terrain like this. Whereas on open ground, the cavalry might just wreck them. Check out the scene of the battle from above, though. Looking pretty cool. Down there in the hillsides. I got my Velites rear charging there. And then just some more combat here, reinforcing as the Illyrian Noble Hoplites continue to fight. Let's go check out some of these other fights. Oops. Let's turn my screen back on. Yeah, the Triarii are getting pretty wrecked by these Illyrian Noble Hoplites. The square is the only thing saving me here. It's just kind of keeping my guys in the fight for longer than they otherwise would be. And since I've started to wrap up this fight, it is starting to swing in my favor. And I'm feeling fairly decent, but I mean, there is a Illyrian Noble Hoplite here that's in Phalanx. It's still a tough unit, and it's putting up a good fight. It is outnumbered to the point where I don't see how it can win. But again, it's putting up a tough fight. I deployed a lot of men on the battlefield here, a lot of men. And we'll watch this too. The Illyrian Noble Hoplites have surrounded my square, which opens their backs up for a very nice downhill charge from a very heavy shot cavalry. So even though that is a very heavy infantry unit, there will be quite a bit of impact damage there for my shot cavalry. My Triarii, though, are still breaking, and the Illyrian Noble Hoplites survived that surprisingly well. Those are some very tanky infantry units. As you can see, these ones still holding out. I decided to just pull back and let my Velites open fire on them with javelins to try and pull them down quicker. Maybe a lot less honorable, but a javelin to the rectum is a lot quicker way to kill these guys. You can see them going down there, so definitely a fun game. Appreciated Stonewall Jackson playing this with me. I think that there was one critical mistake he made here, and I don't think it was his army choice. I kind of like the army choice. In fact, he could have induced some severe damage against me had he deployed the flaming balls right here on this hillside. It would have destroyed my army early on, and I don't know if he knew about the deployables because I didn't see any of them on the battlefield. So I think that that was his biggest failing here. Otherwise, I think with the deployables and a few of my men dead and the little bit of disarray that it caused, I'm not sure that I would have been able to pull this one out because he did get quite a few kills on my army. I mean, I win this fairly decisively here, but there are a lot of my units are pretty badly damaged. This is going to be the end of the battle. His last few remaining units are going to rout, but they fight valiantly. So very cool ambush. Hope you all enjoyed. This guy's got a lot of javelins stuck in his back. Check that out. Happy Javelin Day, Ardiaei. Happy Javelin Day. Thank you, Mr. Stonewall Jackson, for playing with me. And if you want to play some battles with me, for now, I'm basically going into the Blade Balance Buddy group, since that's where I play Rome 2 Online battles is on the Balance mod. That's why I'm using his group. I do have my own group on Steam, and I can do the same thing there. But basically, if you join that group, I'll post an announcement, and so will other people. So you don't just have to play with me. There's lots of other people to play with. And they'll post announcements and basically say when they're going to go online and play games, and you can join up in the groups and just do fun battles like this and have a good time. So if you want to play these with me, definitely join the Blade Balance Buddy group and watch out for announcements, and of course participate with the rest of the group too. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good people in there playing games who really love Total War Rome 2. Anyway, here's the unit statistics. Again, you know, his Illyrian Noble Hoplites, most of them put up a pretty strong fight. Considering they're up against Roman infantry. These Illyrian Thurio Spears, I was thinking, yeah, he did have 2 Marines. They did not end up getting a ton of kills because they ended up facing my Hastati. Now, had these units been able to, like, if he could have gotten these units in first, to get a charge and do some damage, and then let the Illyrian Thurio Spears kind of sit back, maybe throw some javelins afterwards and try and finish the fight. Could have been very tricky for me. Some people might question him not bringing cavalry, but in an ambush battle, he did have a chance to try and pin me in with just infantry, so I actually kind of understand that. Plus, Rome is going to be tricky to deal with, and the cavalry of the Ardiaei is not terribly decisive. But anyway, look at these Peltist. Where did they go? Yeah, right here. They didn't get a ton of kills, but they held out so long against so much cavalry, so an impressive performance from them. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this battle. I will be doing more battles on Total War Rome 2 and other Total War games. Keep your eyes out, and I will see you soon.